What's going on, you guys? It's Zachary John. Welcome back to another video. And I'm here with
Uncle Chris.
Uncle Chris. That's what's up. And we're going to be asking him a few questions. Now, for a little background, I used to live here with him in the room across the hall.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that a fun time?
I would call those dark days.
Those were some dark days.
You could probably go back to previous videos and see some stuff about that. But we get along better now.
We get along good. Just fine now.
Yeah.
Now that we're not living with each other.
I think we had to get past that. But
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you around.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to be around.
Cool.
Sound like I'm gonna die or something.
No, don't start talking like that. Hopefully we got lots and lots of years to do this fun shit.
Let's hope so. So let's get right on into the questions.
Do you want to give a little prefaces about what they are? Like why you decided to do this? Or did you want to just jump in? Because we had been talking about, you know, his dad and that's my brother and how, you know, growing up, I have a lot more insight and some things I could maybe, you know, answer for him since he's not here too. So that's kind of where we came up with this.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a good idea. So here we are.
And I liked it, so that now we're here.
Oh, and I just wanted to get on his channel.
He just wanted to get on here.
There's that too.
This is his in.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Question number one. What's your thoughts on my YouTube?
I told you, first of all, I like the idea of YouTube. I watch a ton of YouTube, so I thought you had, you know, what it takes to be on. You have a good, like, your thing. You have to have an it thing that people like, and you have that, and it's a good idea. It's a good place to let your crap out.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Or to have fights with other people. That's always fun, too.
Or that. Or good stuff, you know.
Good stuff. Making friends, like over at Chubb Family Vlogs and them.
There you go.
My friend over there is named Chris, too.
Cool.
It's a little weird.
Chris's are good.
Chris's are good. All right. What is one memory that shaped you as a person?
Okay, this one was a good one. For me, I think it was, I think when we talked about this before, it was like when I was younger growing up, I had like real bad temper issues and I was alone a lot of the time. So my dad would always do special things with me and for me because I didn't have a whole lot of people to play with or hang out with. So he built me a fort up in the field, which was like just my space. And I remember that more than anything because I learned how to be okay alone and to, you know, do things by myself and be okay with that. So that was my answer to that.
All right. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one I didn't ask before, but I got one now.
Uh-oh. That's not fair.
It's not fair, though.
That's not fair. I want to talk to the judge about that.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So you don't know this, but I changed my last name.
Really?
Yeah.
To?
Lee Brand. I'm going to edit that part out.
Why?
Because there's plenty of Walters,
Well,
but there's no more Lee Brands.
Well, there's nobody really to take on the Walters mantle.
Scott.
Oh, well, Scott, yeah. If he ever gets out of the house and
if
meets
he ever
somebody.
leaves.
But yeah, I mean, Walters is a name.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a name. Walters is something you carry with you. You know, I have like that sign up there that I always read, and it's pretty neat. But like, Walters is like, it's just a name. People are gonna know you for who you are, and that's fine. I'm not gonna begrudge you doing what you feel is right for you. I mean, hell, Luna has a different last name, and it happens. That's got to be your decision.
All right. Back to the scripted questions.
Okay.
What do you think is one memory that shaped my dad?
Like, I think when we talked about this, I said, I think him moving out and starting out on his own was his thing. But I thought about this after the fact, and I think racing, going to racing with my grandmother, that definitely shaped him. That made them very close, and he followed that his whole entire life. So getting him into that, I think that's a big one. I think even more so striking out on his own. I would say starting going to the races and working at Lincoln Speed with my grandmother was definitely probably the biggest one if I had to, for shaping him.
Yeah, because he really liked racing.
Yeah, he did. And he even bought a little mini sprint at one point in time, but never got it running. I think there was too many issues with it. But yeah, he really enjoyed that, and
Yeah.
that was his passion for a long time. So yeah, I would say
All right.
probably that.
Okay. So, a little backstory on this question. What had happened was my dad wanted a motorcycle, but my grandparents, his parents, said no. So he went and bought it from his uncle.
Which they said a lot.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
Did it surprise you when he bought a motorcycle?
Not really. Chad always kind of did what Chad wanted to do, and he was very like. What's funny about Chad is, when I was younger, I used to always worry about Chad being the one to, you know, get picked on the most and how he would handle that, if he would be upset or sad or whatever. And Chad never really gave a shit about what anybody thought about him or what people told him to do or not do. He did what he felt was best or what he wanted to do, and it really kind of always led him down a pretty good path.
Mm.
I mean, he was his own person, and he, up until the day he died, and he said, you know, when it's my time, it's my time. I'm not going to be hooked up to a bunch of crap and go through a bunch of stuff. If it's my time, it's my time. And that's kind of how it went, too. I mean,
Yeah.
he just always was good on his own, doing his own thing. He just was always very good at that. He never needed anybody to be him.
Right.
So, yeah.
I definitely got that from my dad.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell you have that in you.
So when they lived here, there was a dog down the block that attacked them.
This is weird.
Why did it attack you?
I don't think this would have been my mom's sister's dog, like their family dog right down the street down here. And I remember we were little. Chad would have been around, I want to say 12, so we would all been 2 years under that. And we were all there, and the dog snapped at Chad and bit him in the ankle, and I'm not sure why. I think we were actually coming upstairs when it happened, so I don't...
Oh.
It's really weird. I don't remember why, and I don't think we were doing anything.
So the dog was just like, fuck your ankle, I'm gonna bite you.
Right. I think it was just a nasty dog, to be honest, if I remember right. I think that's all it was.
Oh, okay.
It's a really weird memory. It's just one of those, it's just there.
Oh, this is a good one.
Uh-oh.
So when I lived here, we did not get along at all, like almost ever.
No.
There was like times where we got along.
Yeah, I mean,
but,
yeah, it was just real bad when it was bad, so.
Because it was like the worst point in my life, you know, my parents getting divorced.
Yeah, you were going through a lot. I should have been here for you more. I regret that.
Didn't help that I was a little piece of shit who just cared about myself.
But if I wouldn't have been so standoffish and, you know, this has to be this way or whatever, it might have been different. I learned a lot from that, which is why I get along with Luna, my daughter living over there now. I had to learn to adjust, and believe me, she can be a pig just the same as anybody.
Oh yeah.
Even worse sometimes, but
we're all a little bit of a pig.
Yeah, I definitely have my secret hiding places for crap, but yeah, I mean, I learned from that. But go ahead.
So why do you think we fought so much?
I think we're a lot alike. First of all. That's one big thing.
In a lot of senses, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're both very, we're stubborn.
Yeah.
So, like, I want stuff when I say, do it now, do it now. And since you are not my kid, like, when you didn't do it then, I took it as a affront to me, even though it wasn't. It just is the way it is.
Yeah.
So, it was just, I needed to grow up, you needed to grow up, and we needed to just be less at each other, I think, and just more. I think if you would move in now, it would be a totally different thing.
Definitely, I think we'd get along pretty well now.
Yeah, because we do. I mean, we do. So
I'm over here enough.
Yeah, which is great. I just think it was a bad time for both of us, to be honest. You know.
Right.
And then when your dad got sick, it taught me a lot. Like, when you want to talk about moments shaping a person, if you're talking after, you know, being a child or whatever, that was huge for me. It taught me to care about people more, because you just don't know how much time you have.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you a question?
I did not expect this one, y'all. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I have maybe a couple questions just because
Sure.
I'm curious. Are we done? Oh, that's finish yours, and then I'll ask a few questions
All
because
right.
we, you know, it's not a lot.
By the way, if you didn't catch it, my dad's name is Chad
Yeah.
because he said it enough times.
Sorry, did I? I try to say your dad, but I should say Chad just in case. Yeah.
Yeah. So, next question, 'cause there's only a few more.
Okay.
Besides my father's death, like the death itself,
Right.
what was. Which one was this one? What's one downside to it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember this. I miss our talks. I miss our talks a lot. Like Chad always could hold a conversation.
Yeah, he
He
could.
loved to talk, and at the time, sometimes you'd be like, "Man, this guy just doesn't shut up." But I miss that more than anything right now. I would do anything to just sit in the garage and talk to him again.
Mm.
Like I miss that the most. That's the biggest downside, and I could tell him anything. We could literally talk about anything, and I
Yeah.
miss that. Yeah.
What was one upside to the death, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard. That's a hard question, and how to word it. Even I imagine it was hard for you, but
Yeah.
I think not an upside, but I think I learned how to be a better man from that happening. Like I said about growing up, and when you realize that it can happen anytime, you realize you need to appreciate the people around you more, help more, do more, everything. And it also, in a big way, brought me closer to God because I think my faith was faltered, but I needed something at that point because nothing made sense.
Mm.
There's lots of times like songs will come on the radio and I'm driving somewhere alone and like he's the first person I think of and
Mm.
I'll cry in my car while I'm driving. Just I miss him. I miss him a lot. So,
Yeah. Who won? Are you glad in hindsight that we moved out?
yeah, I remember that. I am because I think we would have never got to this point had it not happened. I think had we not like had that space between us to really think things through, for me, I don't think I'd have ever got to the point where I would have been like we would have had the relationship we have now.
Yeah.
I feel like that. So
Yeah. I don't like this question. I'm not going to ask that question.
nah, do it.
All right. Do you think I'm better off now, knowing the lessons that I learned and how the death shaped me?
Oh, okay. I don't know how I answered this first, but now hearing it again, I have a different way of. I think as a man growing up, Chad was a great father from what I saw. Like for me, outside looking in, there's a lot of things he did I wish I would do, and I wish that I spoke to others the way he did. Like I think having him as your father around more would have been good for you, but I think that you're doing good on your own. I think you're moving forward in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So to say you're better off, no. I think had he been around, I think it would have been more fulfilling for you and better.
Mhm.
But I also, in the same token, with that happening, I think you're doing a good job of
Since it happened and you can't
right,
change
and
it.
you can't right exactly. I
Yeah.
think you're moving in a positive way. So
All right.
if that makes sense.
Sure.
Now my question.
Now you may ask your question.
Yeah, my question is, what's your fondest memory of you and your dad?
Boy Scouts, because he really loved doing that.
Yeah,
And all the
did.
campouts we did, and the fishing, and going to the mountains. I really
Yeah.
miss going to the mountains.
Now, my follow-up question to that is, there's been talk about you coming up, which I really, really hope you do. I really hope you do.
Oh, I will.
Just wondering, how do you think that'll be? Because it was emotional for Zoe, big time,
Mm.
and the girls and everything, and so I'm just kind of curious as to how you think that'll be for the first time, because that place really is your dad.
Yeah.
That's where I feel everybody I lose that has been there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my question.
I might cry like a little baby bitch if I go up. Just
Nothing
being
wrong
honest.
with that.
You know.
There's nothing wrong with that. I may cry like a little baby bitch with you.
But I think it'll be good for for me to go up again and to heal, and to also see the rest of the family that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen Uncle Corey since the memorial.
That would be nice if you guys could, start a relationship too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's grown up a little. He has a long way to go yet.
Mm.
Like not to say I just think he has a long way of. I don't know. That sounded mean, but that's
I know
not
what you're
how
trying
I
to
meant
say.
it. Like he struggles with things like anybody does, but he can hold a grudge. That's one thing Corey was always good at. He can hold a grudge.
Mm.
So in that respect, I wish he'd not be so like that.
Right.
But that's it. I think you guys would get along great if
Yeah.
he knew you now and talked to you now.
Yeah.
So
Because I've grown up quite a bit.
yeah,
Any other
in a lot of
questions?
good ways. No, that's
Oh,
all
that
I
was
had.
it?
Yeah, I just had those. I just really wanted to know what your fondest memory was. Like
Okay.
I remember one of my fondest memories as kids is we lived on a farm and we would be in the creek every day or we would be in the snow when it was snowing out and we had this hill where we would play cops and robbers on our sleds and what you would do is you'd have two people come down the hill as the robbers and then you'd have one as the cop come down off the hill and you'd try to knock each other off your sleds and that is one of my fondest memories because it was just so much fun
Sounds fun.
and being kids back then on the farm, it was the best childhood anybody could ask for. So
I'm sure it shaped you a lot.
oh my gosh, yes.
Growing up on a farm.
We worked. We did like there were times where you weren't gonna leave the property because we had to do stuff like mow. Mowing took a whole day, and if we did corn, that took a whole week. I mean, we had to shovel stones and fix the driveway and. One time, Chad ran over me in a bike. So,
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, there was a lot of good memories. There's a lot of sad memories, but
Didn't you almost set the barn on fire?
No, I did. I burned down the barn when I was a kid.
Jeez.
Yeah, and that was horrible. That was another thing that shaped me growing up too. But,
You learn not to play with matches, I guess.
yeah, there's a lot of things you'll find shape you as a human being when you're growing up. Big time.
Yeah.
That one was a bad experience for me, so I try not to dwell on it too much.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for being on the channel.
No problem. I enjoyed myself. I hope we can do this again.
I hope so. That'd be
Okay.
great. Maybe not asking questions because that took me a couple hours to think of these.
Maybe we'll just go somewhere and just riff off each other or whatever.
All right.
Okay.
Fun times. So another big thanks to my Uncle Chris.
No problem.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers, so go subscribe. Make sure to follow all my other social media. Links in the description down below. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.